Hi, everybody. How's everybody on Zoom doing? Raise your hand if you can hear us just fine. I probably should have faded out the music and then just instead of cutted it. We're going to get started. And I'm going to click some. Okay. Welcome. There I am. Hi, everybody. How are we doing this evening? It is nice and summer. Yes, sir. We really need to know. Annabelle's going to find that number for us. 14. I mean, it's a beautiful sunny day. I would expect everyone to be out there at the beach and enjoying a good time, but I'm happy that everyone's here. We're going to get started. This is the May Community Meeting 2024. First off, digital translation for those of you who are interested. We'll play our little video here for the VoxVersa application. Good evening. If you'd like to listen to the meeting in Spanish, you can use the headphones that are here in the room, or if you're on Zoom, you can select the interpreter channel. Great. Buenas. Oh wait, I skipped the part where it speaks in Spanish. It does that. I'd like to give thanks first off to the Bolinas Community Center for allowing us to use the space, not other Joel for his hardware contributions in supporting the arts, and KWMR, our strategic partner. This lovely entitled evening is entitled Summer is Coming. That's good. Okay, it's always just about that animation. Oh, it's doing it again. Oh my God, it's doing it again. How much fun? How's that? I forgot. Where are they gonna park? We'll talk about that later. But first up, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Annabelle Scott. Come on up here, Annabelle, and take us through what we're gonna do.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be a little bit of an annoying guy. I want us to go back so that the ask about digital translation asks in Spanish, because that's the point.
Okay, Annabelle's bringing up a really good point. It's a really good point. Thanks, Annabelle. Annabelle likes to keep it in order. Here, let's see. Good evening. If you'd like to listen to the meeting in Spanish, you can use the headphones that are here in the room, or if you're on Zoom, you can select the interpreter channel.
Buenas noches. Si deseas escuchar la reunión en español, puedes usar los auriculares que están aquí en la sala, o si estás en Zoom, puedes seleccionar The Interpreter Channel.
Thank you so much.
Muchas
gracias. All right, we got to go through all this again.
Okay.
Swipey.
Thanks for bearing with us. It's important.
The cars again. Here come the cars. Summer's coming. I added extra cars at the end. Why did I add extra cars?
I like that bumper sticker that says "You are traffic." You're sitting in traffic. God, all these cars. We're one of them. Be gentle with each other. Okay. Hi, I'm Annabelle Scott. Thanks for having me. Thanks. Hi, you guys. Happy to be here with you. Welcome to the May meeting of the Bolinas Civic Group. I'm here to remind you that this meeting is informational and to have respect for one another by waiting until the end for your questions. All of the information for our speakers will be put up so you can contact them after, and they'll all be hanging around for you to talk to them in person. We'll have a Q&A at the end of the meeting, and I mentioned that you can contact the speakers later, or you probably know them and where they live. Don't send them a letter, might be late. Anyway, this evening, we will be talking about a couple of projects. We'll have a few speakers discussing the Eucalyptus Project, voter registration, and community medicine. And then we have announcements from West Marin Community Services, the BCLT, and a speaker with a conversation about how we're going to behave and be together this summer. Yeah, okay. So up first is community projects, and we'll be hearing from Einor about the post office.
Except that Einor is not yet on the Zoom, nor is Einor in the room. So we're going to have to just move on.
We'll come back to
We'll come
Einor.
back to Einor.
We're grateful for all of their good hard work to bring a post office back to Bolinas. Community projects. Is that all we have? No. Maybe it is. Okay, then we'll hear from John Cozy about the Bolinas Eucalyptus Project. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
Good evening, everybody. I am still John Cozy for the Bolinas Eucalyptus Project. We are an all-volunteer citizens group. I'm going to name our members, haven't done that for a while. So there's myself, Rudy Ferris, Howard Dillon, Judith Lowry, Janice Tweedy, John Alexander Green, our latest addition, Ashley White, and David Ainley has been a friend of the program, a friend of the project. As most of you know, our project intention is to remove 11.9 acres of eucalyptus trees up the road here and then convert the area to native habitats, native vegetation, and solve what is probably the greatest public safety nuisance that we face here on a yearly basis. So that's what we're after. We started this mission in August of 2020. It all began with a phone call from Mark Fraser to myself, and we've been at it ever since. So last time we were here, the following Wednesday, we met with the BPUD for kind of a next steps meeting with them. And one of the points we brought up with them was, hey, we really would appreciate and need you to be co-applicants with us as we go to the county planner. And of course, that they had already endorsed us officially last August, but now this is a little more of a commitment. So they requested that we submit our formal request for them to be co-applicants. So we wrote them a letter and sent them all our reports again, and we will be on their board meeting next Wednesday. A week from tonight, we'll be there asking them to vote on that, and I'm fairly sure that they will approve that request because they want to see this project done as much as we do. So that's where we're at. We did get our final version of our biological site assessment report, but there's still some tinkering that needs to be done with that, so it goes back and forth a couple more times. This thing's transparent. You don't see it, and then you hit it. Well, I do. So that's where we're at. We'll go to the BPUD next week. Hopefully we get that vote, and then we'll be that much closer to formally applying for permits at the county. As always, funds are needed, big amounts of money. So let's all scratch our collective noggins and see if we can figure out some funding. But again, the permitting thing will hopefully open doors in the funding arena. So all in all, things are looking up. Okay, see you next. Kathleen's either just waving or she has a question. Go ahead.
I've been looking at the eucalyptus trees going up Mesa Road, and they look like they're not doing too well.
The ones that are laying down or the ones that are standing up?
The ones that are standing up, they just don't seem, for this time of year, is leafy and is kind of vigorous. There's a lot of empty branches and things.
For those on Zoom, Kathleen pointed out that as she drives up Mesa Road and looks at the eucalyptus trees, they don't appear to be doing well. They're not. You know, they actually look better than they did several years ago. They were at their worst appearance-wise. Leading up to 2017, there was a period when nobody was really paying attention to them at that point, but they were down to probably 20% of what you would consider normal vigor. And these winters have just taken a toll on them. Before that, the drought periods had taken a toll. They're just aging out. And there is, if you do take the time to really look at the canopy of these trees, there's just incredible amounts of dead wood up there. A eucalyptus tree, a lot of trees can limp along for a long, long time, not in great health. But the problem with these particular trees in this particular spot is that any failure, be it just a piece of deadwood letting loose or half of a tree like we see on Olima Bolinas Road, or, the consequences are just too great to harbor this aging. Is there money for fire prevention? The fire department, and I don't want to speak for the fire protection district, but they do have a grant that they're working on. They may have received it for at least cleaning up what is down on the ground. So it should not be a whole nother fire season of looking at all that debris on the ground. But that's as far as that money's will go, would be to clean up what's already on the ground. Anyone else? I think that's it. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kathleen.
Thanks, John. Next up, we have Megan Matson, who will be talking to us about voter registration. Register to vote.
Thank you, Annabelle. Thank you, Bolinas Civic Group. I was thinking about this the other day and realized that what I'm really describing, how's that? Well, perfect. Is a mental wellness activity for Bolinas, a special offering. In preparing for this, I realized also that this is a moment to be very proud to be Bolinas. I'm looking at 2004 to 2024, and here's just a taste of history. Many of us back in 2004 were tearing our hair out around dinner tables, ranting and raving about things that were going on in the world, and decided, I'm looking at your bag, Tina Ann, decided that we were going to shut up and do something. So this is sort of the exciting news, is that in 2004, Bolinas invented handwritten voter registration letter writing. It wasn't happening anywhere in the country. We were trying to figure out what to do in January and February of that year and started Adopt a Swing State, or the mob, Main Street Mobs, and pulled together enough data for people to write personal letters about why they felt it was important to help others in the country register to vote. And so we sent, in the end, over 500,000 handwritten letters with voter registration forms enclosed to, in this case, unregistered single mothers in other states in the country that were critically needed in that effort. In 2006, a professor who authored the book repeatedly, Get Out the Vote, from Yale reached out and asked Bolinas, could I test what you did and see if handwritten voter registration letter writing works? And so in 2006, Bolinas did a test into Missouri with a control group, and that professor collected the data and found out it was 4 times more effective than the little pre-printed direct mail, and published that book. And 20 years later, why I'm here tonight is that we're doing it again, and many other people are doing it all over the country. So if Bolinas would like to take advantage of this mental wellness activity, proven, I'll show you what that is in 1 second, but you can text me at 415-497-2320. And I'm about to show you what I will put out in the borrowing trunk for democracy, which is the beat up trunk sitting outside Seven Wharf Road, where our office is. So we've been, Jill Moore and I, in this case, way back it was me and Arlene Alsman and Arthur Okamura and Belle and Lauren, everybody. Anyway, I'll put a packet out for you in that trunk with your name on it, and it will include 25 stamps, 25 beautiful postcards, and then really simple instructions and a list of people for you to write in hand, encouraging them to register to vote and showing them exactly how. There's a QR code printed on the postcards. If they point their phone at it, it will take them right to the site, and they'll be able to register to vote with great ease. And the fact that you cared enough to handwrite a postcard may well be significant to them in that case. And then I'll just finish by saying, people have been great in town. We've done, I think, 1,750 so far with these packets. They're flying out, and then they come back, and people say, "I need more. I'm all set. Let's keep moving." So I've got 4 packets with me tonight. If anyone would like to take one, or again, you can text me at 415-497-2320, and I'll put one out in the trunk for you to pick up. Thank you, Bolinas Civic Group, for creating this forum.
Thanks so much, Megan. Thanks, Megan.
I love civic group meetings. I always learn something, but I had no idea. What a beautiful, sweet practice. Oh, that makes me happy. Next, we'll hear from Anna O'Malley, be talking to us about community medicine. And I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you all so much for having me. I'll see you next month, and I'll see you sooner.
Thanks, Annabelle.
Hi, everyone. Such an honor to be here, and I'm going to be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm hoping is informational and also is an invitation into a broader conversation about a really important topic, which is medicine in our community, and as I hold it, community as medicine. Oh, cool. Yay. Oh, not too much.
Just like your phone, one more.
Okay, those are some redwoods. My favorite space holders that I know of are these 2 redwoods that live in the Commonwealth Garden. I hope you meet them in person someday. So my intentions are to offer some reflections from within the medical system. So as many of you know, I am a doctor in our beloved clinic here in Bolinas as well as in Point Reyes. And I just wanted to share some insights from the front lines, as it were, and also an invitation into a conversation around what are essential elements of medicine within our community. Just looking in this very room, like I serve as a primary care provider for people here in this room and so many people in this community, and as a guide for people who are at nearing the end of life. And it's a role that I hold very dear and sacred. And sometimes the very structures that we operate within in medicine can seem to be at odds with depth. And so I just want to be thinking about what do we really need in our community, and how can we advocate for that within and outside the system. And then consider different emergent strategies and possibilities. I loved hearing that letter writing strategy, and to me it just feels like it just epitomizes what is possible in a place like Bolinas, where there's so many people with great heart and creativity and outside of the mainstream thinking, and come together and organize and offer solutions that can be spread elsewhere. So just totally inspiring. I love beauty in nature as healing energies. I'm going to skip past this one, but yeah, just we are so incredibly well resourced here in Bolinas in so many ways, with human beings, but also the landscape and our ethic of relationship with the land. So I want to first start just by I want to make sure I keep on time. Just with some perhaps distressing, it distresses me, some realities. I love this quote by Wendell Berry. Right now, we're in a complete chronic disease epidemic in our country, and I would say that our medical system is suffering and strained to the breaking point, really. And if you've tried to get a referral to a specialist or schedule anything within the system or engaged with a doctor, you might have picked up on that stress and strain. And part of it is because of this reality that we're fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to health, treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to food. Grateful to say that is not the case here in West Marin, where we have access to fresh fruits and vegetables and a healthcare system where people within it are attending to what it is to be well. And yet, we are still living in a really challenging time where people are really stressed and isolated and alone. This is particularly true for elders. And we have staggering rates of chronic illness. And what we can do in a 15-minute office visit often comes down to prescribing medications, which is, you might have felt that pressure to get in and out within 10 minutes and receive the prescription and be on your way. Of course, socioeconomic and racial disparities just compound any form of suffering, including chronic disease, including what happens on the day-to-day basis, what it is to live your life, what it is to afford the food that you need. Anything is compounded by socioeconomic and racial disparities. And I'm grateful that we have a safety net here and we are attending to these realities, including language and communication at this meeting. So deeply, deeply grateful for that attention. And also, this is something that I am acutely aware of. People know I have this superpower, like I can be moved to emotion quite easily. But I hold medicine as a sacred art. This beautiful, ancient practice and profession that is this beautiful melding of intellect and intuition and holding space for the mystery, while also problem solving and listening and attending to. And it's hard and it's complex and it's beautiful and it's rich and it's ancient and it's important and it's sacred. And it has been captured in many ways, even though we can say this is for good reason, expanding access, etc. But what's happening in medicine right now is really sad and hard, and a lot of people are leaving. Burnout rates are somewhere between 50 and 70%, depending on the specialty. People are leaving medicine, which is part of the reason it's hard to get in with specialists. It's part of the reason that it's hard to afford what's going on. And it's part of the reason that people such as myself, who are really ready to make a stand and be a stand for what it is to hold space for healing, feel continuously pushed and pressured to do more faster, which is frankly dangerous and tragic. And so people talk about burnout. We also talk about moral injury in medicine. And there's an epidemic of suicide as well within medicine. So I'm sharing this because I want us to be listening collectively for how we can be creating strategies to support our own health and well-being, knowing that the healthcare system really isn't positioned to give us that which is ours to create in community for ourselves, which is our own health and well-being. The healthcare system is important, it's essential. Our clinic is essential. It's a vitally important resource, but it is not positioned to be doing depth guiding, and it can't. And I've tried, and I continue to try, but I think that it is a moment to be considering emergent strategies as well. And further, as a person who cares deeply about our beloved, beautiful, beleaguered planet, our downstream efforts come at a staggering ecological price. If we were a country, our Western medical system would be the 6th leading emitter of carbon dioxide because of our downstream interventions. So again, this to me, what I'm trying to state here is a case for, on a lot of levels, really considering how we can claim the power and the responsibility and the joy, actually, of supporting our health and well-being and using our healthcare system in a way that's strategic and important. And I mean, it has great utility, but let us remember that we have a lot of power in community to support our own health and well-being, and that the path to our wellness really goes straight through our relationship with the natural world. I put this here as a reminder to breathe, and that there's so much support for us in our healing, so much support, seen and unseen, in this community and in community with all of life. And so I want to just quickly close here within the next few minutes. I think I've laid out, like, it's hard in medicine right now. I'm going to go back to that clinic after this meeting and sit in front of a computer screen until about 11 o'clock at night. That's what I do multiple nights a week. It's not to make you feel bad. Don't feel bad for me. It's just like, that's what's real, right? That's why burnout is happening. Inside a chrysalis, when a caterpillar goes in there to transform into a butterfly, there are cells that are called imaginal cells that begin to vibrate as the caterpillar turns into a soup. Those cells vibrate at a new frequency and become organized in a new way to become that butterfly. And I believe that that's happening in medicine right now, and that's happening in community inside and outside of medicine. And that we are remembering that we have a lot of capacity to heal on our own internally and with the support of each other, and that love and care and social connection just as important as quitting smoking. We know that social isolation takes years off of people's lives, as does chronic stress, as does socioeconomic disparities. So the question for me is, what are we resonating with here in a place like Bolinas, where we have so much beauty? We are so privileged beyond belief to be surrounded by beautiful food, gorgeous landscape, people of heart who are wanting to reweave and to be a stand for what it is to be in real, vibrant community beyond the dominant cultural paradigm. And recognizing that our clinic is an essential institution. It is not to undermine that. But we have a lot of power to be coming together in spaces and creating spaces where we can be bridging those gaps that I'm speaking to, that the healthcare system, there are so many vested interests. The healthcare system is set up perfectly to achieve several desired outcomes, which is maximization of profits for the pharmaceutical industry and the insurers. I'm sad to say it, but that's the way it has been set up. And I hope that someday it will be reconstructed, but right now there's a gap between what is wellness, creation and support, and what is management of chronic disease, which is what we are doing in our healthcare system. And so for me, the question really is here, on the land, in this community, in a place like West Marin, in Northern California, at a time when new models of care are desperately needed, when people are leaving medicine in droves, chronic disease is skyrocketing, the pharmaceutical industry is running along, racing, like just maximizing profits unchecked. What is ours to do? What is mine to do? And what can we do in community? And so I'll just close with a couple of images of circles and spaces that are held within the Commonweal Garden, and an image from the party that we had on Sunday, because I'm being really serious right now, but honestly, like, our health and our resilience and our shot at living healthily on a living, breathing planet has everything to do with how we convene together and how we come together around food and support each other and how we have fun together And our community is really good at all of these things. So what is it to just create a little bit of intention around and savvy around what it is that we're doing, both inside and in collaboration with the clinic or with the healthcare system at large? And what is it that we could create at this moment in time? So obviously, I'm not putting any answers out there, and maybe this is a more of a provocative invitation for us to be in collaboration, thinking about what we need and want, thinking about what what we can have both within the clinic and within the community. I know that this isn't really the space for setting up a dialogue, but it is something that, as I continue to go along in my own professional development and personal desire to not burn out and not be a martyr, to my desire to be supporting and guiding, but actually deepening my capacity to do so in this community. I'm just wanting to share that I'm very open to people's input, people's feedback, advocating for our health and well-being to the powers that be within the clinic, within its current merged organization with Petaluma Health Center, and also to just be in this ongoing exploration and know that no matter what happens, that I'm completely committed to the health and well-being of this community, and I will be as long as I am here. And also in the community of life. And it's important for us to be remembering at this planetary moment, especially, that our health and well-being is completely inextricably linked to the community well-being with all of life, all of the humans, and all of the more than humans. I forgot to put my contact information here, except for there's the website for the place in the garden, but I'm going to just say it. My email address is anna@naturainstitute.org, and my phone number, I know you're not going to use it inappropriately or ask me to call in a refill or something like that. But it's 415-847-4720. And I'm just wanting to be in a really open stance with this community and with this exploration. So thanks. I hope that made some sort of sense. And thank you, Will, and to the Bolinas Civic Group for all of this. Jennifer. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love it. I'll just repeat that briefly. So Jenny is saying that she has family friends that are in the VA system and is aware that the VA system in San Francisco has a lot of residents that go through there and train, as I did actually, and that also within our community, we have another academic institution, USF, that is running Star Road Farms. And are there collaborative ways or ways to engage in new ways of thinking and illuminating for people in academic medicine and training that their skills perhaps that are being applied therapeutically out here. I love it. And this is the sort of thing, like, this is really what it takes, I think, to be creating solutions at this planetary moment, peering into the future, which we know is going to be a lot of time of change. And so really appreciate you bringing that forward, and that's just the sort of thing that I'd like to invite. I bet Will almost has like that cane that they could pull me off, but I'll stick around after for any questions, unless you want me to entertain more here.
No, there's always a QA after the event for
Beautiful.
questions and
Okay.
answers.
Thank you all.
Thanks so much. And next up is community announcements. Community announcements are announcements from the community. And first up, we're going to hear from Chetan with the Bolinas Community Land Trust, who's got a little bit to talk about today.
Hello there. Am I clear? Yes. There's an echo, so it's hard for me to know. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm a tenant member of the board of the Land Trust. And since Annie O'Connor is not able to be here this evening, she's recovering from the flu, I have her talking points about upcoming meetings, and I'm just going to go to it. They have to do with staff in the office, many of whom have been sick recently. It had to do with a state grant that's recently been received in order to enable them to continue with the Bolinda Vista ongoing project, and Habitat Aspen, and the gas station project, and the upcoming annual membership meeting. And this is Annie talking. The BCLT staff got hit pretty hard with the flu over the past 2 weeks, but most of us are back to good health now. It's still going around, so please take care of yourselves. It's been like a round robin for the past 2 months, and it's taken an impact on the availability of the office to people coming in and trying to consult with people, because often there's been nobody there, everybody's been out sick. You may have noticed April 25th, there was an article in the Point Reyes Light about an $8.5 million grant that the BCLT, along with other entities, are administering in a way that will enable us and our partners to operate the RV park and advance the permanent housing that's intended to come out of that RV park up on the mesa. This is Bolinda Vista RV Park. You may have noticed that there are now cows by the road. That means that the residents have finished building a fence segregating the housing area from the rest of the land owned by the Land Trust, and they will be putting in plantings, as has been suggested by members in the community, to create a privacy screen and also at the same time make a place for the cattle to graze that is segregated from the housing and the trailers themselves. The next is about Habitat Aspen Homes on Aspen. The BCLT sold the Aspen Homes and property to Habitat for Humanity Greater San Francisco. They are following a process that is regulated by federal requirements based on grant funding they received to make the projects affordable. 80+ people applied, and Habitat is almost halfway through that list. And that list is so that they look to find homeowners that meet all eligibility requirements. BCLT and Habitat are aware that this has been difficult and sometimes painful for the applicants. And it has been a process of learning about the process itself that we hope to have evolve as we apply the same thing with our partnership with the 31 Wharf project that's going to be going on also in the next couple of years. Downtown also, there is the gas station removal project. This will be updated to the community on June 6th at the board meeting at that time. And if you want a full update on timing, which won't be happening over the summer, not until the fall, but still, there'll be a time frame and questions we asked at the next Thursday, May 16th, is our annual membership meeting. Everyone in town is welcome to attend. Everyone in town is welcome to join for a nominal fee or nothing at all if they can't afford it. And at that time, there will be 2 new members who will be nominated, and The membership will approve or not their nomination to become members of the board. And one will be a tenant advocate as I, and the other is a local mother and educator and agriculturalist who is also looking to join the board. So the thing to remember here is Thursday, May 16th, the annual membership meeting, June 6th, the meeting where there will be timing out the project for the removal of the tanks here downtown in front of the gas station, which will be disruptive, and how we're managing that disruption will be talked about. And I think, did I get everything done in 5 minutes? Well, alrighty then.
I think so.
Thank you very
You
much.
got it. Five minutes, 2 minutes, 7 minutes, who knows? I'm not, who's paying attention to time with this weather? We have a very, this is a new, from San Geronimo Valley Community Center. We have Michelle McCourtney. Did I say it right? Oh, great. Michelle's gonna come up and talk from the West Marin Crisis Response Team, which you may have remember from like 2 meetings ago.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. Bolinas Community Center is one of my favorite partners. We are partnered through the West Marin Community Response Team, and we're actually going to be rebranding as the West Marin Community Resiliency Team, because response was a little bit confusing when we think about our disaster councils and other folks that are responding directly. And our focus now going forward is going to be on disaster preparedness, including the effects of climate change, overdose prevention, and access to services. And access to services, as you all know, especially from a public health perspective and other perspectives, is very challenging in West Marin. We actually had to develop a 5-hub system, Bolinas being one of the hubs, to make sure we could reach all of our West Marin residents. So the Community Resiliency Team reaches out to San Geronimo Nicasio. That's one hub. Bolinas is another hub. Tamales, still in Beach area, is another hub. Stinson, Inverness, and then Stinson's with Bolinas, Muir Beach. And then we've got Point Reyes and Olima. And so we cover all of those bases by having wonderful partners like the Bolinas Community Center. And so I just wanted to go through some upcoming things that are coming up and just keep you all updated. So in June, and we're still nailing down the date, Community Action Marin is going to be partnering with us to bring back their disaster preparedness program in Spanish, and that'll be hosted at the Firehouse in Bolinas. And the great part about it is it's bringing this information to the Spanish-speaking communities. And it will be all in Spanish. You get $50 to attend. Dinner is served and childcare is provided. So it'll be a wonderful evening and in attendance. We'll also be holding a Spanish-speaking program, the same program in San Geronimo as well. And then I think some of you were bringing up, I think you did, about mental wellness. And I just wanted to bring up that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm sure a lot of you know that. And there's a lot of wonderful events that are going to be going on in the next month. And one that's coming up is the Drew Robinson event. And it'll be at 2 locations. One, it's going to be at the community, or at the College of Marin, and the other one at Homeward Bound. And Drew Robinson was an athlete who went through, well, he survived trying to end his life. And now he's an advocate for suicide awareness and other things. And then on the 11th, there's a Youth Wellness Festival, and on the 18th, a 5K run. So if you are interested in any of these things for mental health, definitely let us know and we can get you the information. It's in our CRT newsletter that Randy here receives, so she would have the information too. And just a reminder to everyone that If you're dealing with someone who you're close to or you know in your community who needs help, 988 is the number to reach out to. So, and I'm sure most of you know that now, but we're trying to guide folks to use 988. One other thing I wanted to say is on our overdose prevention efforts, we've set up nalox boxes, which Bolinas Community Center hosts one that holds Narcan for us that's available 24/7 to the community. And we're just adding fentanyl test strips. So they've been put into the box tonight. And those are a great way if one is going to use drugs to test the drugs to make sure they're safe from fentanyl before they are used, and really important to saving lives. And I wanted to just commend our community, our West Marin community, because through our Narcan distribution, we know of 7 lives that have been saved so far. So, thank you to you all for being open to having Narcan distributed in your community and throughout West Marin. And then on the fun end of things, I just wanted to let you know at the community center, this Friday is our spring art show. I welcome all of you to join us. There'll be over 100 artists displaying their artwork. And so we'd love to have our Bolinas friends and family come over to see the art show. And then many of you may be Tim Weed fans, and Tim's going to be playing Tim and Friends on June 2nd. So that's going to be fun. And we'll have a summer music series all summer. And then if any of you are car enthusiasts, we have a car show in July. So I just wanted to thank you all for having me. And if you have any questions related to the community resilience or formerly the response team, I'd be happy to answer any questions after. Thank you for having me again, Will.
Thanks so much, Michelle. Yeah, Seamus, I think it was a month ago, Seamus was out here, and he's a great guy, and such a great guy. So, it is great to have a recap, and also thank you so much for bringing down those fentanyl test strips. If you're going to use drugs, make sure they're good drugs. The community announcements can be signed up for on the website. And what's also helpful about that is there's also on the form the ability to add to the community calendar. So if you have events, which is something we want, I know, we want to really try to help coalesce. This keeps coming up with folks who are like, how do we keep everybody in the know? So we've been working on this community calendar, and so I'll just keep promoting that some more as we move along. So we're going to move on to community talks. Who remembers community talks from last month? Why talk? Who had a good time last month? Did you have a good time talking? Megan? Okay, one. I had a good time. Okay, two, 3, 4. Okay. You don't have to all fake raise your hands. It's fine. The whole thing about why talk was because I think it's time that we have some talking. And last time I asked this question, which was, as we get older in Bolinas, what do we need, want, and desire for ourselves and the community so that we can continue to thrive? And I think that conversation went on for about a good 40 solid minutes of a lot of information being gathered, put into a spreadsheet and documented. And that ended up with the conversation that we had with the county. So the county is going to show up next month with a whole bunch of information, and they've got a new director coming in who's going to show up as well. So that's exciting. They needed a little bit more time, but we need more data. So raise your hand if you've contributed to the Aging in Bolinas survey that's out there. Okay, that's 3, 4. So if you can do me a favor, please tell everyone about this survey. It's bolinascivicgroup.org/project/aging. It's right there on the front page. As much information as we can gather will help it to be coalesced. And then the coalescing turns into categorization, and the categorization gets into responses from individuals and people to help. So that's the point. So as much as we can get out there, that would be super helpful. So now we're going to do today's talk, and I don't know how this is going to go. I mean, some people said, I don't know if we want to talk about this, Will, but I think it's important because I was thinking to myself, summer is coming, and this is the time of year in which it's still green, and the hills haven't turned brown yet, and it's quiet and calm, and it's not going to be soon, right? Raise your hand if you know that it's not going to be quiet and calm and right, of course. ours. So here's the idea. The idea is I have been talking to the sheriff, we've been talking to Dennis Rodoni, and I've been talking about this idea about, the summer's coming, but I also thought it would be important to talk to everybody else. So I've done a lot of research on this, but what I'd love to do, since we're here, is we can just, folks on the Zoom, you can totally unmute yourself. I don't have my Annabelle anymore to do that, so you can unmute yourself and yell at anyone in the room. Let's talk about what we can identify and prepare for and what's needed to be good stewards of land and sea. How does that sound? Want to talk about it? Okay, I hear someone talking on the Zoom. Do you want to go ahead and just put out some thoughts?
That may have been me. This is Anne. I think we could put out more of the eco sorting stations. The station that's in front of the entrance to the Bolinas Community Center, and it shows you where to put recycles, where to put everything. And we could have more of those stations around town, or at least have the signs put on the garbage cans so people know where to put things.
I think, and I totally agree with you, trash is a problem. Who knows that there's no trash can at the end of Wharf Road right now?
It's terrible.
Tina Ann knows, I know. And yeah, the trash cans from the end of Wharf Road, do you know where they ended up? In the ocean. So, no, so, and that's a great idea. And we talked about that the other day with Madeline Neto Hope when I was over over there, and she brought that up again. And I think that trash is a big issue. And it always has been. We're here in the room. It always has. And now, why is it a big issue? Does anyone know why trash is a big issue in town? Because people don't take it away with them when they bring it in. That's a good one. So pack it in, pack it out. Pack it in, pack it out. Dog poop, though. Are people going to take their dog poop with them? So you know what? I had a great idea the other day. Let me know if you guys like this one. Instead of like bags for doggy poo, bags for people detritus, right? Like, what if there were just, they have the little doggy bags that like show up, you can pull them for your doggy bags, but what if they also had actual like shopping bags they could take with them so they could take their trash with them? I'm just thinking of the guys with the six-pack, and the empties, and they don't want their dripping beers in their car, right? So how can we help them out? So that was my thought. What do you think? Okay, now who's going to do it? More trash. So it's a great question, though. Who's responsible for trash in Bolinas? No one. The community center, the people who live here, the people who care. The businesses don't put out receptacles. Who should be responsible for trash? All of us? I know this is my favorite question. I really started thinking about this when the trash cans went into the sea, and they haven't been returned. It's a big thing. And so I think I would like to put a marker in space and time and on the recording here that I think we have a trash problem, or we're going to have a trash problem, and a doggy poo problem if we don't have receptacles for those things, right? There's the tradition in Bolinas that people would bring their personal trash and put it in a receptacle. And when people who are poor, okay? And so where would the people so we need a place for people to put their trash though, right? We have to pay money to get trash taken away. Okay, so how do we solve the trash problem? More money. Okay. More money from whom? More money from the county. Okay. I like that. And bring it to their attention. We really do have we do. More regular pickup. I'm so excited that you're saying that, and I'm repeating it into the microphone because I'm totally going to snip this and send it to the county. And they'll watch it. They're watching along right now. Okay, we have quite hands in the question. I agree. I think trash is a big problem. I think that we have an upcoming trash apocalypse to deal with the summers, especially as we lose our trash cans. We know that on the busy days, trash piles up, and we don't even have receptacles in certain places anymore. It's been relatively well managed, I think, for the past little bit, although it's starting to get a little bit iffy down there on Wharf and some other places. Okay, in the room, more hands. In the back. Surfrider Foundation. Bigger than we're able to manage. So Surfrider. So there, if you remember 4 meetings ago, I think we had Cleaner California Coast. They're an organization that I spoke with the other day. They're big on the pack it in, pack it out stuff. But I think that, but yes, signage, right? And human baggies, like the doggy baggies, but human baggies for the human waste so they can take it with them. I think that would be really helpful. Down in front. So Wendy with the Marine Mammal Center did not come back with an animal, but came up with 24 bags of trash, 24 kilograms in an animal crate. Does anyone walk around and pick up trash when they walk on the beach? Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do too. I do too. We have to put it somewhere too. So I think there's this idea that this is the stewards. Oh wait, stewards. Wait, stewards. Where'd stewards go? Oh yeah, stewards. Stewards part, right? We're good stewards. We have been and we want to be, but we also might need some help, right? In the corner. The Coastal Commission, yes, the Coastal Commission wants us to be available for the people to come to the coast. Well, everyone's laughing. Just so you know, everyone's laughing. The California Coastal Commission be available for us to help with the trash. I believe the California Coastal Commission is a legislative organization. Is that correct? Legislative, not so much a give you money to do things organization, but I love the question publicly and on the recording because it does raise a great question. How do we get support? Because we are stewards of the land and the sea for this environment. We are here and there are people coming here and they bring their trash. And how do we pay for it? I mean, I can't pay for it. You know, there's no, like, how do we pay for it, right? And I think it's a great question. And so, any other thoughts on trash? Stuart? Okay, yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Stu's saying, stewards of the land and sea, stewards of the land and the sea. He's talking about, okay, hold on, let's clarify. So we're saying stewards, we are stewards, and we wear branded steward wear to show that we are stewards for people to witness our stewardship. With big trash, and Megan's saying with big trash buckets, so you could just throw trash at us as we're walking down the street. We sell them to tourists. And each one comes with a garbage bag in a can. Well, okay. I like this. So invest, because he said vests. We're going to invest in steward gear that helps promote and support the idea that you can purchase something to help the stewards and be a steward of Bolinas for the land and the sea.
I love it.
This area patrolled by the good stewards of the land and the sea. Can you write that down? It's on the video, it's recorded, but we'll write it down. Just draw it up right now. Draw it up right now. He's drawing up the t-shirt right now for us. Megan. Start walking down, right. And you're walking around, you're picking things up, and you've got all the stuff in your hands, and you can't pick it up because your hands are already full. And where do you put it? Collapsible stewards of the land and sea. So, yeah, I'm thinking, Wendy said canvas, like a canvas, a long, lightweight, like the poly crunchable. Just some plastic. Ko
No,
says just some plastic bags.
get away from plastic.
But that was a joke. Ko's making jokes. She's smiling. Be good. For Fox sake, slow down. Stewards, yeah. Slow down. Park better. No, wait, no. Slow down. Park better, and pack it out. And pack it out.
Mhm.
One lane ahead, yeah. So I would love to tell a story. Can I tell a story real quick about how difficult it is to get the Department of Public Works to do traffic? Do you know how crazy that is? They're working on it right now. Actually, who knows about the parking permitting thing that's been going on? Well, it's just been going on. That's a Bolinas in joke right there for everybody. No, but I think you're right. So that section of Wharf Road is collapsing, which is why you're not allowed to drive on it anymore, because it's completely undercut by the ocean, and they're going to do a whole bunch of work to try to repair it. And it has really slowed the traffic down, and I cannot wait for the backup of traffic that's going to hit that area when people park where it says no parking, nonstop, etc. So is this a great segue into traffic? Wendy, wait, no, Wendy. So Wendy's noticing. Right. So Wendy's saying to educate people better about the impact of their trash, being good stewards, because the lagoon is right there, the ocean is right there, and so somehow I think people do know that the ocean is right there, but maybe they don't know when they're leaking beer cans or dripping into the ocean, how that's bad. So I think the stewardship thing is really important. I think informational stewardship to help people understand. I think personally, I'll speak for myself, I think that it's important that people understand that we have become the de facto stewards of this environment. So I think some good signage and some good helpful guidance, little kiosks, and human bags to take the trash away. I really think by the drainage, right? Silhouettes of salmons by the drainage, right? For no dumping, right? No trashing, yeah. Don't trash. Well, it's like you don't trash our town. You have that sign up over at Surface Overlook where people were putting beer cans inside of the telephone pole. There's a little sign there that you made that says, "Don't trash our town. Don't trash our town. Don't trash our town." Um, yes, Jenny, in the back. Trading a bag of trash for a parking permit. You put the trash in your car, and then you get a place to park. Huh. Huh. Interesting. This good segue. Good segue. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Stu, for the if the waves are good. Okay. So I'd love, yeah. Let's bring up. Can I tell a story? Can I tell a story? I'll tell you a really great story. So, does anyone know how Will Bartlett got into civic action in the community? Does anybody know besides Megan? Megan knows already. Nobody? I joined the parking committee. Oh, no, it's great. Okay, but I want to tell actually a positive story too. So, not just a joking story about the parking committee, because the parking committee has been going on, I think, since 1980 something. The same committee, longer. I'm hearing longer. So that conversation about parking, it opened me up to a whole bunch of things, particularly the BPUD's website, and then I found the community plan. And you know what's in the community plan? Parking, parking. There's so much stuff is in the community plan, but you know what was amazing? Was there was actually an entire strategy for dealing with tourists and tourist parking. There was multiple strategies. No, well, there was one that said no overflow parking. Yeah, it is in the community plan. If you build it, they will come. That's right. So it's a very difficult conundrum. So in my engagement with the parking committee, I garnered the interest of one great supervisor, Dennis Rodoni, who invited me to another conversation about parking. And it brought up this, he invited a bunch of agencies together, anyone who had a parking lot in a 20-mile radius of Bolinas. He brought them into one meeting. Megan's laughing. It's true. This is a true story, by the way. And I showed up with the community plan. I said, on page blah, blah, blah here, it says right here that we should be doing this. And then I never got invited to a meeting again. That's a joke. But let me tell you about that meeting for a second, because I think it's interesting. I remember when I came here was at the beginning of the pandemic. And who remembers what happened when they published that Alameda Falls was the greatest weekend getaway? Yeah, right? How many cars went down Mesa Road? How destroyed is Mesa Road as a result of the traffic? Oh, really destroyed. And so that's what precipitated the conversation. And George was on the call from the fire department. He had a clicker, and he would click all the cars that went by the fire station all day, every day. Thousands and thousands and thousands of cars. Does anyone have a guess how many cars come into Bolinas on a good swell day? John says 7. 30,000. 30,000, 5,000 from Stu. I have no idea. But you know what I think we do need to do? I think we need to have the Department of Public Works do a traffic study this year. Who's with me on this one? Yes,
Oh,
right?
yay.
Yes, the
Yeah.
car counters. I think that it's high swell time. It's a swell time to, sorry. It's getting late, I'm tired. It's a swell time to investigate the amount of traffic that comes into Bolinas. I can say as a surfer who is more than a casual surfer, that this year in particular, we are seeing a significant increase in new and young surfers. The foamy brigade, as we call them, the new Costco foam boards that you see, have even increased at a pace in which I am even surprised has occurred, which I didn't think it could get any worse. So, as a surfer and someone who understands if you build it, they will come, we do need to know. There's been so many issues that have come up with the traffic with regards to the surf, but we also know that we need tourists in the community to support the community as well, too, right? So this balance is the thing that has still not yet been. Grace has got her hand raised. Almost done with my little spiel. So I would like your support. I'm going to put a petition up. And by petition, I mean like a thing on the website that you got to go fill out. And I'll post it on Nextdoor just to sign that you would like a traffic study this year for the summer season. Because I was kind of miffed that we didn't have another conversation about traffic after that one, because it was still an issue, and it still is today, and I think it's going to be one, and that's why there's all the cars on the screen. So I'll put a thing up, and you guys can just remember to help get my support for that one, so we can get the DPW to put some of those things out here. All right? Grace in the back. There's nobody downtown, yes. So Grace is bringing up a point about surfing community takes up all the beachgoers. Okay, Grace's comment is that all the parking on Brighton and Wharf is taken up, but there's nobody downtown. They're going to hit the beach. They're not coming downtown. We need the tourists to give back. This is another really great question. How do the tourists and the visitors to Bolinas give back to the community? How can they give back to the community? Not just to our businesses. A toll. Howard Dillon says a toll. An entry toll. What is this, New Jersey? That's a joke for all my East Coast friends where if you want to drive on the East Coast, you have to have money to pay for the toll. And Texas, yes. And to buy a car. Yeah, I suppose, true. That's a good point. Stuart, got your hand raised. Locked boxes for donations. At the end of Wharf and the end of Brython. QR codes. Okay, who are they donating to? To the stewards of the land and the sea. To Stuart's personal Venmo account. Do you like signs? The sign guy would really like you to donate. Okay, so this is good. Okay, we have a question about how can the visitors to Bolinas who come here for the surf, the beach, the sun, how can they contribute back to the community? In what way? And if there were an idea for donations to be made to some stewards of the land and sea, some organization, I have a question. Who is legally responsible for Bolinas Beach? I love this question. Nobody. 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 It is a part of the Farallone's, obviously, sanctuary, but there is no responsible party for the beach. It's not. It's not state parks. It's not county. It's not BPUD. There are some sections of the beach that are theoretically owned by some landowners, but they're, so that's a great question. It's a really great question, and I love how we're bringing these things together. How the Bolinas Community Center owns a little sliver. Yeah, the Broad and Boat Club owns a little sliver, and a whole bunch of people own hillsides of the Little Mesa. We could sell slivers of the. Actually, hold on. Hold on. This is interesting. If we get the county to let us split up the parcels that are already beyond the mean high tide line,
Oh,
and then we sell them.
ah,
See, I know this is clever. This is clever. I don't know if that's legal, but I love it. I love the idea of selling a portion of the beach to an individual with like zero rights to it. You'd sponsor.
yeah.
Sponsor. You get your name in the sand, Megan says. Okay, this is good. This is good. I think we're so okay.
How about adopt? How about adopt a beach?
Adopt a beach. Adopt a piece of driftwood. Adopt a log. Adopt a shell.
Yeah.
Adopt a grain of sand. Adopt a doggy bag for a human to take their trash away. So we're finishing up. We're getting towards the end of the time here. So I think that the big takeaways are, I think the question, and this is great because this is the question that I had, which is why I asked it, is how do we address some of these big issues and start creating some stewardship modeling somehow to get those who come and utilize the resources to be able to provide back to them and support our activities in being good stewards of the land and sea. That's what I heard everybody say. Did everyone else hear that? Am I making it up? No, I'm not making it up. Wendy's got something to say. Wendy wants to say thank you to the people saying thank you while Wendy's changing the post office signs. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, so I'm going to put up a new, Tina Ann in the back. Let me see if she's online. I did send a text message to Einor, but she has not shown up online. So unfortunately, we will not hear from Einor tonight. I am going to put up a page on the Bolinas Civic Group website regarding this topic, specifically a poll / submit your interest, support, community support for doing a traffic study this summer. I think it's critical path, and I think we should, I will encapsulate the ideas about the stewards of the land and sea and how we might be able to get some tourist support for it in some sort of document on the Stewards of the Land and Sea project, which will kick off right now. Okay. That's fun. Thanks, everybody. I know it's a smaller meeting. I know it's summer. We're trying out the later time to try to get more folks here, although strangely we've had less after we've changed the time. So we'll figure that one out afterwards. But remember, it's all on the online, and that's what matters. Our next meeting is going to be on June 12th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Bolinas Community Center, which we're all here, and on Zoom. I want to thank all of our Zoom guests tonight for joining us. I see you all there. I see hands waving off the corner of my eye. And again, you can find out all the information about the Bolinas Civic Group and all of the things that we talked about tonight. And here's the very pretty picture of the sun. Thank you so much, everybody.